Barton FM, following Barton Town. Sport on Barton FM is sponsored by Easy Buy.
Welcome to Swans Talk with me, Richard Watts. We now join Trevor Richins, who's talking to Nathan Jarman.
Early in the first half, and then we obviously held on for the rest of the game until they scored right at the very end.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen some terrible takes on it, but that's why football's, so what's the word? It's for everybody, because everybody can have an opinion, and your opinion can differ from my opinion, and my opinion can differ from somebody else's, and we've all watched the same game. But performance-wise, I was not happy with the first 25 minutes. Right. And when we got to grips with second balls in midfield, and putting the ball into areas rather than trying to play to feet, and it's not like Scott was trying to play to Will's feet and the ball's bobbling all over, and trying to play into Sam's feet and stuff, and the ball was just, it was bobbling all over, and it was hard to do. Whereas Winston, right from the off, put the ball into good areas. There was no. I saw someone from Winston tweet about how they were the only team trying to play football, and I watched, and I was like, I can't understand how people can be like this when the only passing move they put together was in the 88th minute or something, when they had maybe 6 passes in a row. But other than that, it was put the ball into areas, put the ball into the big man. Yep. And that, I'm not knocking it. It works, and they put it into the areas. And I said at half time, that's what we should be doing. We should be putting the ball into areas, and start the second half. We started to see some reward for it, and was putting the ball in behind for Ben and for Sam, and that's where Sam's chance came from, where he went through. Will put a great ball in behind for him, and that was more of what we should have been doing. But the first 25 minutes I wasn't happy, but after that I was more than happy with the performance. And I know we conceded again late on, but we actually were 3 at the back, 3 in midfield, and 4 up front by that point.
So after the first 20 minutes or so, and certainly after half time, you sort of changed the way the team was playing to say we need to be doing this rather than what we're doing, which is obviously we want to play football.
Yeah, I am an advocate of keeping the ball on the floor and trying to play as much as possible, and on a good surface, or a 3G, which we train on twice a week. We're more than capable, and we'll play anyone at it. But we had to adjust, and we can adjust. We've got a team that's adaptable. We really have. We can play a few different ways. We can go long. We can go into strikers. Ben can hold it up, more than adequately, and we can go long to the wings, or we can play through the middle with Harrison. And with Kingy, and even with Henry's not as adept at it, but he is, he's all right. He's not too bad at it. Yesterday, I spoke to the referee. I spoke to him in the bar for 10 minutes, maybe a little bit longer, and he explained a couple of his decisions, and I won't say that I felt appeased with him, but I understood where he was coming from. Right. So, for instance, one where I haven't watched the full game yet, I hadn't had a chance to watch the full game, but one such incident was where the keeper, Pops, has dropped the ball, and Hinch has got his body in the way of between the keeper and the ball, and the keeper's just clattered into him and sent him flying in the box. And I asked the ref about that specific incident, and he said he vaguely remembers it. He said, but in his opinion, Ben jumped towards the keeper to initiate the contact. So I was like, well, you see it differently from what I see it, but if you've seen it that way, then I can understand why you haven't given the penalty, and that's fine. I get that. Yep. What I won't stand for, and what I can't tolerate, and what I will speak to the league about, and Links FA about, and I'll speak to anyone about it. The linesman was an absolute shocker. Okay. He was terrible.
That was on the stand side where you were.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. The one where Ben's. I mean, have you seen the video yet?
I haven't seen the video, but I know Ben was flagged offside when everybody thought he actually ran past the player.
Right. So Ben is a good 4 yards onside, maybe more, maybe 5, 3, 4, 5 yards. The ball's coming to him. There's Sam Ainsley right back. There's Ryan Douglas 4 or 5 yards in, towards the goal, so he's onside by 5 yards. Then there's Lee Ridley behind him. Then there's the left back behind him, all playing Ben onside. Ben is, and Sam, because someone else said that, maybe he thought Sam was the one. Sam's onside as well.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's miles onside. Ben's first touch is brilliant. Takes him through 2 defenders. He goes on and he puts it in the corner. It's 1-1 just before half time.
Yep.
And the linesman puts his flag up, and I'm like, I knew he was onside. Watching the game, you could tell because his first touch took him past that defender. Yep. So there's no way he could be offside because the defender's already in front of him. Anyway, so we've said this, and we're saying it. We've walked off and we've said it at half time. I said, don't speak to him. It's obvious what he's done. He's made a mistake. He's either made a mistake and he won't admit to it, or he's done it on purpose and he knows why. Now, I said this to the ref and I said this to the linesman, and then the linesman didn't come in the bar after. Right. The ref did. Now, and I just said, that's because he knows he's completely given the wrong decision. There is no reason for him to do it. When you see the video, Trevor, honestly, you will understand why I'm incandescent. I'm so still now. I can't let it slide because it's an horrific decision. It's so bad. It takes away from such a good goal, and we could have. I'm not saying we would have, but we could have gone on and done more, and it could have had a better reflection for us on the game.
Yeah, it was a bit strange. The referee went over. Obviously, let the play continued to its logical conclusion, and they went over to the referee and presumably said, "Are you sure?" Because he disagreed, and presumably the linesman said yes.
So I asked the ref about it, and the referee said, if he was on his own, it would have been a goal because he looked onside. And he could just tell. He said he looked onside. I thought he was onside, and because I said you went over to him, and he went over to the linesman, asked him, and he said, "Are you sure that it was the man who scored that was offside?" And he said yes. And then as he went away again, and then he walked back to him a couple of seconds later, and the ref said he asked him twice to make sure, and the linesman was adamant that Ben was offside. Now it can't I've been on it on Twitter all day today, and it's had the video's had 20,000 views or something like that, and 70,000 impressions. People are going crazy on it.
For the latest Barton Town news and information, visit the club's website at www.bartontownfc.co.uk.
With the Barton chairman Mark Gregory, and they've got the sportsman's dinner coming up at the end of May. Can you fill us in on all the details?
After the success of last year with Kevin Keegan, who was absolutely awesome on the night, obviously we wanted to get another big name. It's a great way to earn some funds for the club, and it's also a great way to have a really good night, especially at the end of the season, and hopefully a happy end of the season. So John Barnes, I hope he does the England rap. That'll be great. Tickets and tables are still available. Not many left because they are selling fast, so as they would. So please let me know if anybody does want a table.
Right. So what's the best way for people to get in touch with
you? They can either email myself or email Pete Mitchell. And our emails are on the website, or obviously it's all over social and stuff, and just follow the links.
For the latest Barton Town news and information, visit the club's website at www.bartontownfc.co.uk.
I'm joined by Aaron Walton, and we've got 2 Lincolnshire derbies to look back on. The first one was at Winterton on Saturday, which I thought, first 20 minutes, Winterton were well on top and we looked in trouble, but after that I thought we more than matched them. And,
definitely. They did look good. Their front three looked really good, didn't they?
They did, yeah.
Pembleton, there was the other 2, the big lad up front.
Grimes and Walker.
Grimes is a small one, Mr. Walker's the big lad, They look very good, linked up well, played really well. And then they sort of started to knock it long after that, didn't they? They didn't really sort of play it through us. They started to knock it high up to Josh Walker all the time, and you know, partner a match for anybody who do that. To be honest, up in the air with Fraser Packrell, Nathan Hottie, and Josh Lacey.
Yeah.
You know, and then you've got Scotty Matthews as well to back them up. But the first goal was very good. We sort of switched off a tiny bit, didn't we? And that was a good little bit of interplay.
It was.
But again, not picking up in the box. And then Barton seemed to come into their own a bit and start to knock it about a bit and play some decent football. I mean, I don't know if you saw on, social media, it's the best thing and the worst thing in the world.
Yeah.
But I saw some Winton fans putting on, you know, we won against a poor Barton team, and you think, are you really watching the same game?
Yeah, that's right.
And that's what we expect from Barton. Expect what from Barton?
Yeah.
You know, these aren't what I call proper fans. These are just people that like to go on, and if there was a wasp's nest, they would hit it with a stick, wouldn't they, and see what happened.
That's right.
They're just not watching the same game. Yeah. So that was 1-0, wasn't it, anyway, Rich?
Yeah, and then we come to officials again. First of all, Potwell pushes over Hinchcliffe in the area.
Yeah.
And we don't get a penalty. I mean, I see on Nathan Jarman's comments that the referee said he thought Hinchcliffe backed into him, so that's why he didn't go it. But I mean, I don't think he did.
No, he didn't, did he? He might have been looking for a penalty, but he certainly got flattened by Pops. To be fair, but I don't know. I really don't know, because what can we say? What can we say about the officials? I mean, it's.
Yeah, and then we come to the big one. What an absolutely excellent move! Great first touch from Hinchcliffe, takes him past two defenders. Even better finish, he slots it in the corner. And, well, God knows how, but there's a linesman's flag there, and it's got to be the worst offside decision I've ever seen. I think it's one of those, when it happened at the time, I didn't even bother glancing at the linesman, because there's just absolutely no way that's offside. It's not even close.
Yeah, you was expecting him to get the ball back, put it on the centre spot, 1-1, see how it goes, and that really, to me, that was the turning point of the game. I know it's all ifs and buts. However, you just can't legislate for that. I mean, that is just like probably taking a punch off Frank Bruno. That's knocking the wind out of you.
Yeah.
Completely and utterly. Because then, as a team, you think, well, we're playing against a really good team who's second in the league, and as we're also playing against some really, really bizarre decisions.
Yeah. I mean, see that a referee has said that he did go over twice to check with the linesman to say, "Are you sure?" So I've got a little bit of sympathy for the referee, because if a linesman said yes, I'm sure, I don't really think you can overrule him.
You can't, can you? Because the referee, I mean, he was up with play all the time, but you know, you're bound by your linos there to help you, aren't you? Well, I don't know. It's just the worst decision I've ever seen. And there's bad decisions every week from every team. Winton have had them against them. I know they have against Ferriby. We've had them. Albion Sport have had them. You know, you speak to anybody who follows a team, and they'll tell you the same thing. So it's not just a Barton thing. It's not just a grumble about. It's all the way through the league. And if they're not prepared to try and sort something out, all we get off the sort of the FA and official bodies are, well, respect them, and you think you can't with decisions like that. It's just ruining the game, and it will drive people away. People will go and do other things. They'll come and think, well, I'm not watching that, not to see that. That was rubbish. That, you know, and it's just spoiling. It really is. But again, you got to be so careful what you say, because everybody seems to hide behind something, and then you just let it carry on and on and on. And people just walk away from the sport and just get fed up with it. People get bans telling the truth, because nobody likes the truth. Or it's the way you go about it. And you think, well, if I went about it with official channels, nothing would get done again. So it's frustrating. It really is frustrating. I mean, it does give people something to talk about. But
yeah,
you know, as we go to every game and we speak to other people involved with clubs, and it's just the same thing. It's like an echo every week. You know, did you have so and so? What a decision that was. Oh, we had so and so. Oh, it was terrible. You know, even on we get to the game against Bottisford, their guy got sent off 2 yellows. I thought the second yellow was rather spurious, if anything. I mean, looking at the footage, it didn't seem to really do anything wrong, and one of our players went down. But I don't know. I mean, I wasn't as close as the referee was, but
no,
and you know, I've got to say, well, it's a bit bizarre. But back to the game. Back to the game. So still 1-0 going at half time, don't they? Barton come out, really even second half into it. Barton pushing. There's a few chances. There's that one what whips across the box.
oh, it's just inches away from Tom Warby's boots.
Yeah, once it. Yeah, I think one of their defenders got a touch on it and needed a touch. And then, you know, one or two. I don't think that Popple had a shot to save in anger, did he?
No.
I mean, we're creating chances, so that's a good thing. And then obviously when you're pushing, what happens? They go up the other end. Nice move, probably the best move all of the second half. And what a finish from Josh Walker.
Yeah, excellent finish.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
You can't fault the keeper. He's just got straight in front of his defender, bang, and off his foot, and that's what he does. He finishes like that. He'll not look interested for 90 minutes, but end up scoring 3 goals, and that's Josh Walker.
Yeah.
So, you know, I thought he won every header.
Yeah, he did, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and that very rarely happens against Barton. Barton usually win most of the headers, but he won every header. So they're a good team, Winton, and I've said it before and I'll say it again. They win games and they never get out of third gear.
It'll be interesting.
If they got into fourth gear, they really are going to rag somebody. They're going to beat somebody 5 and 6 and 7-0 if they get into fourth gear. But they never have to get into that gear because they know how to play the game. They know how to nullify teams. They know what to do. I mean, they've got the old heads at the back. You've got Lee Ridley.
Yeah.
You've got his brother Steve just in front of him. You've got Paul Grimes up front. I know Steve and Paul are getting on a bit, and Lee's getting on a bit, but I'll tell you what, Steve Ridley and Grimes are probably the fittest players in the league, bar none.
Yeah.
Certainly very, very fit. And you've got your Josh Walkers, you've got your other lads, Allison, who comes on. He's a good defender. Sam Ainsley, I like Sam Ainsley. He's a good player, and I've seen him play up front as well, and he's got a good shot on him. So they are a good team. They were unlucky last season when Titten weren't they not to get into the playoff.
Yeah.
I hope we do, but if we can't, and I don't think we can now, so I'm hoping Winton get on there. And what a great game on Saturday, Winton versus North Ferriby.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting one, that one. Very interesting.
And again, we'll go back to officials again. It's just like a broken record. There was quite a few sendings off and some right controversy at Winton when they played Ferriby, wasn't there?
There was, yeah, that's right.
So and Ferriby lost, didn't they, against Hallam on Wednesday? Is it Tuesday night? Wednesday night they lost.
Yeah.
Tuesday night they lost. So and Hallam are a good team because they've got a good manager.
Yeah, they have. Yeah.
You know, in Craig Denton, good manager. Give him time and he'll produce you a good team. He's got a fantastic track record. So, we lose the game 2-0. Really disappointed, aren't we? Because we feel it's just possibly hinged on a really poor decision. But you've got to take, I suppose, that's football, isn't it?
Can't do anything about it. Once it's gone, it's gone.
Yeah, it's gone. You ain't going to change your mind, are you?
No.
It's a pity. It's a pity we can't have in football what they have in rugby league, a captain's challenge. But never you having kids trying to get the replay back up. I can't do it, you know. So we're putting pressure on us and media to do that. But I think, you know, possibly. I mean, with technology now, with technology coming down in price, I mean, I'm sure, you know, something like that could happen. You never know. But that was just one of the weirdest decisions I've ever seen.
Yeah, it was. It's just baffling. I'd love to hear his explanation for it, and I'd love to hear if he's changed his mind since he's seen the footage.
Yeah. I mean, to me, it was beyond a mistake.
It was just. I mean, you do wonder how can somebody get, or what do they think of the scene? How can somebody have got that so badly wrong? I don't know.
Yeah, well, again, we've got to be careful what we say because if you just come out with the truth, people don't like the truth and people don't like the way that sometimes somebody says things and what have you. But then if you don't say it out and say what you see, in the words of Roy Walker.
Yeah. Yes.
You just get left in bad. So it's crazy. So we're disappointed. We go on to Tuesday night, another Lincolnshire derby against our lovely old friends from Bottisford. They were really battling down at the bottom.
And quite a lot of changes to their side since we last played them as well, I thought.
Very much. I thought they were a decent team.
Yeah, I thought they played well.
I mean, they always, no matter how good or how bad they're playing, they always seem to have the Houdini effect on us. They always seem to beat us. And it was looking like that with a free kick that just went straight over Ryan Musselwhite's head.
Yeah.
Didn't it? I thought, one, he was a little bit too far off his line, and two, did he lose it in the lights? But apparently, he said Augusta Wynn took it.
Right.
So coming in, Augusta Wynn took it. So, but you could see it played on his mind, and he'd made a mistake. It affected his kicking because he wasn't relaxed. His kicking wasn't as good, and then he started to relax a bit. And his kicking got better. We were down 1-0, weren't we?
Yeah.
And then who scored for us? Tom Wardby on his 200th appearance.
Yeah.
A typical Tom Wardby goal, a good goal. So that was 1-1, wasn't it? And then we had the Ryan Musselwhite incident, didn't we? Well, you saw that better than me because I was right over at the railway end. So, what was your take on that? Was it? Would you think it was a red?
Well, I mean, when I first saw it, I thought he's got to it before the striker and headed it, and I haven't watched it back on the video. I mean, if he's not headed it, then he has just flattened the striker. But I thought he'd got to it first. But I stand to be proved wrong when I've seen the video. I don't know.
Well, how I saw it, and as I say, I could be wrong because I'm going off my memory, is he's come out for it. He's maybe got a touch on it with his head, and the attacker's run straight into him. Now, Ryan's not gone left, right, forward or anything. He's just stood his ground, obviously headed it, or it's come off his head, or he's just slightly missed it, and the attacker's gone straight into him. So, I don't know. You mean, as a keeper, you're out your area, and that's what happens. You usually get sent off. So, he got his marching orders, red card. And then, having no keeper on the bench, who came on? Mr. Danny Moore.
Yeah. I mean, he's not the tallest, is he?
No, he's not. He got springs in them feet, though, hasn't he?
He has. I mean, his first save off the free kick was a terrific save.
It was straight across, used his feet, good catch. You know, really good. I think he goes in goal quite a bit when they're training.
Right.
On a Thursday night, when I used to go up, I used to see him go in goal now and again. But he certainly did all right. But then they scored. There was Cliff Burns scored, didn't he?
Yeah, hammered it in.
Bit of pressure.
Because I thought when it was 10v10, we'd look the only winners.
Yeah.
And then they go up and score. And then you think it's too late, but
late show again, isn't it?
Yeah.
Was it Henry Cook?
Got on the end of it, yeah.
Henry Cook got on the end of it to make it 2-2. And I think, on reflection, that's about a fair result.
I think it
both
was.
teams were going for it, but I don't know. You think, that's fine, but then you think, well, we've lost, that's another 2 points we've dropped. But
yeah, I think we're just too far away from getting a second place.
Yeah, we've got to now concentrate on
just get as high up the table as you can.
Yeah, where did we finish last season? Was it 6th or 7th?
Yeah.
So if you can match that or just go a little bit better, then when you're building on that all the time, you're not going to have one good season and one poor season. And having seen Barton for the last God knows how many seasons, I mean, I'm not complaining because we usually, when I first started watching, we were always down there at the bottom, panicking and then having to go on a bit of a run, in March, end of February, March and April, go on one of them runs where we don't lose, just to stave off relegation. So I'm not complaining in any way, shape or form being where we are. It's just that we're fickle, aren't we? We get used to winning.
Get used to winning, yeah, that's right.
So,
I like the look of our new signing on Tuesday night.
Oh, John Oglesby,
yeah, it looks a good player.
Yeah, he looked good. Didn't get a great deal of the ball, did he, Rich?
No.
But I think when he does get a lot of the ball, he looks really good. And then we've got a goalkeeping problem, haven't we, after Saturday?
Yeah.
So he's going to have to look, because I was chatting to Charlie Dixon and he's still injured. I think it's going to be a full season job.
Oh, that's a pity.
It is, because I saw him and he looked fit, but if you're covering up, because Charlie's one of them who likes to be 10 out of 10 when he goes on the pitch. He don't like playing with a niggle or anything like that, which I can't blame him. But others would probably go on and play with a niggle. But Charlie likes to be perfect when he goes on, and that's not a bad way to be fair, is it?
No. Last time he did pull that lad out of the reserves, didn't he? Can't remember what he's called.
Paddy Shaw.
Paddy Shaw, that's right.
Yeah, well, Paddy used to play for Brig, and me and Mal had seen Brig quite a few times when Paddy was playing. And I probably told you this, Richard, because I always repeat myself because I'm that boring. Paddy, in one game, I saw him make the best save I've ever seen and the biggest gaff I've ever seen in the same game. So, one was absolutely fantastic, flying through the air, bangs it over the bar. What a great save, just outside the area. And then the next one, somebody I think he chipped him and he caught it and fell backwards and it went in the net or something like that. So, but Paddy, he's a good keeper, is Paddy. He's a good keeper. So I don't know if they'll put Paddy in.
Because it'd be 3 games, won't it? I would think it'd be a 3-game ban, I would have thought.
Straight red, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So, I don't know about the officials on Tuesday night. I thought they were okay. I mean, it's better than it was on Saturday, but considering it was a local derby, I thought it was okay. But yeah, we've had some good refs, haven't we, Rich? We've had some. I mean, remember we had that. We've had that young lad, and
he was good.
He's the best one we've had.
Yeah, he was very good. I can't remember what he was called, but he was very good. Yeah,
he was good, wasn't he? And he was, for a young guy, he really did well. I thought he handled it well, managed the game really well. Because I know our bench is a difficult one to manage, and they can be quite, what's the word? Not hostile, but they can be. Became quite intimidating, I think is the word, but they didn't intimidate him. So we're looking forward to now. We're looking forward to yet another bogey team.
Yeah, 2 in a row. Yeah,
Rotherham and Knaresborough.
Yeah, I was just thinking. I don't think I've seen. I mean, I've not been watching long, but I don't think I've seen Barton beat Knaresborough.
No. Well, I haven't either. We've seen some good games and we've seen some poor games. Generally at Knaresborough, we're usually on the end of a game, which is like a broken record, is a dodgy decision, a penalty or a free kick. I mean, this season, a perfectly good goal cancelled out.
Yeah, that's right.
Can you remember off the corner?
That's right.
I think Henry Parr had fouled the keeper. Well, Henry Parr's 5'7" and about 9 stone wet through.
Yeah.
He's not fouled anybody.
No.
So, and then I remember once, I think it's when Dave Ricardo was in charge, Knaresborough were at our place, and I think they were 4-0 up. And then we got it back to 4-3. And then we go down and we have a cast iron penalty waved away, and then Knaresborough come up the other end and score. So it certainly was a bit of a fight back, but a damn squib in the end. But we do generally, they did the double over us last season as well, didn't they? 1-0 either kind of time. So it's going to have to be a good performance, because Knaresborough, again, they're a team who know how to manage a game, don't they? Get a lead and keep a lead.
Greg Anderson organising that defence. Yeah.
Oh, never
take it in front.
And so much football knowledge there with Greg. So, and they are a decent team. I mean, the mid-table, I know.
Yeah, that lad up front looked impressive in the game at Knaresborough. His name escapes me.
Yeah, I can't remember his name, but he did look good. He had 2 good feet, didn't he?
Scored a good goal, didn't he? He scored one of the goals.
Yeah, a bit like Harrison Coley with his feet.
Yeah.
But I've got faith in the boys doing a game. I've got faith in the boys.
I would imagine Tom Warby's suspension will start. I would imagine on Saturday.
Yeah. So Tom will be out. I don't know who'll come in for him. Probably Will.
Yeah.
As long as Will don't try and pass to him when he's watching. Because they do tend to have this telepathy, don't they, where they're both down the wing and Will will pass to Tom, and Tom will not pass to Will. No, he will pass to Will. So, well, they do have this telepathy. So, yeah, I'm wondering who's going to come in for him. But do you think Henry Parr might play? Or
he wasn't there on Tuesday night, was he, Henry Parr?
He didn't get a letter off his mum. He couldn't stop out too late.
I did wonder with that whether he'd so he's not gone back to Cleethorpes, and I did wonder with that other lad coming from Cleethorpes whether he's gone.
He might have done. I'm not sure, but he's a good player. He needs games, doesn't he? Does Henry? He needs games, really. Yeah. Because he looks good. I know he's a little bit lightweight, but he looks good, and he plays football with a smile on his face. So you can't say any better than that. Yeah. But I don't know who'll play instead of Tom. Just don't know.
And I wonder if Sam Cable will be back.
Yeah, I don't know what was. Sam wasn't there on Tuesday. I don't know what was up with Sam. And we don't get to know anything, do we, Richard? No. We're not very good journalistic people, are we? Because we never ask. We always feel we're imposing. So, but yeah, hopefully Sam's back, and we've got Kingy. Kingy's back, because Kingy was off for a week because he was on holiday, but he was back. Yeah. He was back on Saturday, and he played on Tuesday. So yeah, hopefully back to winning ways on Saturday against Knaresborough. It's going to be a tough game, and then it's the big one, isn't it? With North Ferriby, the Real Madrid of the NCEL. Yeah, that's right. That's going to be a tough game, because they'll have come off that. They'll be hurting against Hallam for losing, and then they'll be coming off a game against Winton, and hopefully Winton will give them a good game. Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see that one. I would say Winton will want a little bit of revenge again for that game at the MKM Stadium. So we'll just have to wait and see, I think. But if you can all get yourselves down to the Easy Buy on Saturday afternoon and cheer the Swans on, it'll be greatly appreciated. We want a good crowd there, get a bit of atmosphere down there, don't we, Rich? Yeah. And I'm sure you'll see some goals. Yeah, you'll watch it, maybe 0-0. The curse of the commentator. Yeah. Well, let's hope it's 3 points. Yeah, let's hope it's 3. And then if it's 3 and results go our way, we can get back up to 6th again. So results have got to go our way. Yeah. That's it for this edition of Swans Talk. Thanks for listening.